drowning in my pain. You can sip a little more, but goddamn now you can see the pilot flying. And now these damn haters really need a fire hydrant. Life is a school and you better know your lesson. But goddamn God, why you come out so aggressive? But listen here, homie, you niggas only sweating, stressing. I got this only question, tell me when you're so the Padre. You be acting nasty when you're so the Padre. You be acting nasty when you're so the Padre. That's right, you be acting nasty when you're so the Padre.
Northwest Territory.
You might need a smoothie for your brain. You might need a soda for your heart. Cause y'all already toxically stained. And like you know you only made a mark on some dried up shit. Looking like a raisin or a prune for not paying all your dues. Got you washed up and then you start to think about the past. Make you laugh, man, I bet your mama had to make your ass take a bath. Spend the future money, fuck about the gas that you had. That should stay up in the safe. You ain't safe, so stay away. Man, you niggas so depressing. I don't really think your father knows. You bitches so depressing. I just think you need a water hose. You get an H for hating and you heathens on the honor roll. Follow rainbow waters and you'll never find a pot of gold. Looking like a leprechaun, you know, in the face. I can see the greed when a demon get a taste. They act to wish your brother sipping, drinking, flipping chains. They too stable in their life. They got payments by the night. Give them grace, they'll be alright. And tell them that they out of jail. Esoterically speaking, I don't think they pay their water bill. Blood all on your hands and been a well and you ain't watch them still. Esoteric parasite and that is why you probably ill. All up in your head, you honey chill. Mardi Gras. Haters only need some TLC and waterfalls. When you're so the you be acting nasty when you're so the you be acting nasty when you're so the that's right, you be acting nasty when you're so the it's the Parliament, it's so the you be acting nasty when you're so the you be acting nasty when you're so the that's right, you be acting nasty when you're so the it's the Parliament.
Put your hands up. 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 Go Dolo. Go Dolo. Go Dolo. Go Dolo. Go Dolo. Go Dolo. Go G, you flight over there. And we're going to talk about this. We got to talk about it in a different kind of way. I don't got no biases. I'm an equilibrium person. It's something 50 and his party can take. It's something T.I. and his party can take. I'm slide in my little opinions every now and then and things of that nature. Like, for this an example, things like this might be what T.I. need to go beyond regional king. Y'all say these be certain tactics that in hip-hop, these are like sufficient qualities in football plays that you got to take to reach certain statuses and stuff like that. You think Jay-Z ain't play that game? You think Michael Jackson ain't play that game? He played a whole lot of games with Prince and a whole lot of people. He played a whole lot of games to the point he disappeared with a monkey and koala upside the tree. So, that's a lot of games. You got to make sure you know what building you in and what doors you go in and stuff like that. But there is certain pockets of stuff that's just for you. You could carve out and make an office out of, like the diplomats did in the Rockefeller building. Carve out, this is my office. This is y'all using this closet, my office. There's certain areas you could do in the building like that. White man don't get mad. You know what I'm saying? White man, as long as you stay there on that floor, don't go on no elevators, don't try to go up no more. You know what I'm saying? And some of these places be comfort zones. You know what I'm saying? Some of these places be all right. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard of Michael Jordan? I'm saying, what he do? That he ain't get to no psyop or, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta start thinking some cold stuff that be going on in the world that you don't peep game. But if you creative, you could carve out a pocket. You could learn how to craft and build something in the esoteric world, that esoteric building too, and make a little piece of the building for yourself that work. You know what I'm saying? Really, you got to step on nobody's toes. If somebody don't want you on a certain floor, then think about what's on that floor. Do you even care about it or not? People on lower floors and stuff might want to move on up to the east side. You might be in their way. Get prepared for all kind of graffiti on your door and all this kind of stuff, and you got to defend that you want to be on that floor and stuff. Hey, but if you going in some type of corporation or business, you in the building, you in the esoteric, you in some type of shit. It might not look like it's on water, but you probably read the Bible all the time and hear things like Jesus walking on water and stuff. You ain't see it yet, whatever. You know, it's just a ship, and you gotta know what's going on with the ship. Get your tea steam game up, do coffee game up, or hot chocolate game up. So yeah, we're gonna break it down so people can understand. Also, the moon is important, if not the most important. So you'll know how you even gratify yourself and what it appears to be, because the moon is how we react and respond to the world that we in. So it's truly who we are. Then the sun is who we are too, but it's how we put the moon to work. So you may think of your sun sign, but your sun is actually doing what your moon sign wanted to do. So you always want to be in the space of your moon. And anytime you're not around a person, place, or thing, circumstance, or situation that don't match your moon energy, these are those situations you start to experience being uncomfortable or feeling out of control, or depending on your energy, feeling like you have to take over the environment or over demand something to match your mood in some way, shape, or form. And the way you get it done is through your actions, your sun. Now, here's the thing. Based upon your sun and your moon alignment, this causes internal and external frustration. You may have opposites. You may have in conjunction. You may have a square between your sun and your moon. So how you feel in your actions is not based upon how it appeared to be in your mind when you constructed it and it made sense. So a lot of times you express things that you may get misunderstandings from others, or you may express things where you're the person that look like you're making a mistake or whatever. And it take you to go through those situations that you thought you made the right decision in your mind. And then based upon the outcome, then you had to realize you did the wrong thing, or then you had to realize you seen it the wrong way. Then you have to realize the way you felt about it and how you seen it didn't match, aka how you seen it is more predicated on your sun, and how you reacted and responded and what made you feel that energy in the first place is the moon. So you need to know, based upon our moon, that's what we are, that's what we do, and the sun is how we go about it, our actions, how it look, or whatever the case. And people actions sometimes look off due to the fact that if you don't understand this quality, sometimes it can be catered to their sun and moon alignment. And it could be other participants and stuff like that, like the ascendant. But for the most part, a person may made up in their mind, they know what they're doing, but they may come across you and you don't know what they're doing. Or for the most part, it could be a situation where you're in that energy and it may be a person that's doing something retarded, but you trying to find ways to understand it, and you may claim you understand it more than another individual. That might be you still in a miscomplacent place where it doesn't always predicate on negative scenarios, but it's just our way of seeing things and how to compare and contrast. So this is going to be a learning aspect for all individuals, normal people who ain't celebrities and things of that nature. And we're going to filter it because we from the hood, and you know, this is hip hop right now, so this is the stuff we into, and we can kind of see these energies being played out right now. But you'll be able to take what I'm getting ready to break down and look at their whole career and be able to observe why they act that way in their personal life, and you'll be able to take this energy and put it in other pockets, other celebrities and things of that nature. And I start to even do this as a routine or whatever the case. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying, this is giving everybody a healthy aspect. And for the most part, I look at this like the global Mortal Kombat stage. So look at how I'm getting ready to describe it, like a power meter. And for the most part, we're going to break down the pros and we're going to break down cons and things of that nature. And based upon how they utilize it on their own perspective, you know, everyone is on even playing grounds when it comes to the spiritual world, regardless of the physical body and the attributes we got. You could be having issues with a bum at a bus station and things of that nature, but due to the fact of the spiritual world and where we create our first body, we all on even playing grounds there, and whoever the most intelligent, it bends down and just play out how it play out in the physical. So in God, like that world to be more genuine, you know what I'm saying, and things. So that's what makes, you know what I'm saying, the energy. If something more in sync with reality, even in things that y'all not considering reality because you're not looking at all the things that's going on, things still play out in that way. You know what I'm saying? For an example, let's say you're using a metaphor like what goes around comes back around. So you took the metaphysical aspect from it. Oh yeah, we can experience a year coming back. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Then you could take that as your anatomy aspect. We can see a plant die and we can see it grow. Then you could take that from a spiritual aspect. Okay, we sprung off that type of existence from the essence of it. So whatever I plant, I know it's going to grow, but it's going to be in that cycle aspect. Wherever I planted at is what I started, and what goes around comes back around, or whatever the case may be. So let's say you take that quality that you see something, even if you're not adding it to the physical or the anatomy, but I made it as an example for people who want to claim things as pseudo, but this is a spiritual channel, so you do these things anyway. I'm just the hood representation and the medicine man to help people understand what we always doing anyway. I'm not teaching you nothing. I'm only reminding you what you already know, right? So let's say you take that quality and you add it into other areas in your life that don't got nothing to do with that. But you know that's a part of life. So that percentage scale gonna be everywhere. So if you're acting accordingly to life, you should expect being on the right side of energy. So you should be able to sit back, even if you haven't put it to the test for yourself yet. See where other people, family, friends, associates, and co-workers start something, and see other areas that come back around, even in areas that they may not be paying attention to, and they may be dealing with how it came back around, still not reaching the root cause of why they keep starting their problems, why they keep having the same type of situation just with a different person, place, or thing, or whatever. And let's say you start to practice that for yourself. These is the actions that I know I don't want to come back around, so let me be morally fit spiritually and only do the actions I know want to come back around. So anything that I didn't plant, but it come back around of something I didn't want, I know I'm on the right side of the universe, and this thing is in my face because it either wants something I want. It either wants something I got, whether it's mental attention, whether it's physical, me being in this mind state in the first place, and God put me in a position to even have something that someone else won't, even in a way that I may be unaware of it, because it's probably just a character of mine. And a person wish they had my type of character, that because it'd be more fruitful in their type of situations that they probably still getting taken advantage of, or overcompensating in another area, or however the case may be, right? And then for the most part, you will start to see in areas how even when it's time to defend yourself, fighting fire with fire, you're still on the right side of energy. So negative is transmuted into positive, where you have to be negative for positive purposes. And you're always on the right side of the energy when it comes in that aspect, because you're never in the circumstances that a spiritual space, a soul, is in to make the mind state to try to get over from a disingenuous starting point in the first place. So there may be certain situations that they manifest to stop them in their actions before you, because you haven't stimulated those type of actions to be in those series of situations before the lead up of what you're thinking about to do something. See what I'm saying? That is a real deep spiritual game you got to have with yourself, but this is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? These are things that even when it comes to old colonist authors and stuff like Robert Greene and stuff, they can't really teach you that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably one of the reasons why 50 Cent wanted to add on to it, because he went through actual things in the hood. So when you go through actual situations, you're not describing something from someone else who went through it, but you're describing it from the lens after they already had outcomes and got benefits and went through negative situations. You're not going through the nuance of what it takes or what you had to go through for that to be an idea in the first place. That's the real fruit. So that's probably one of the reasons why 50 Cent probably read Robert Greene book and was like, wait a minute, something is missing. Let me add a law here, or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? And this what makes T.I., this what made T.I. kind of more received in the hood. And since the suburbs try to mimic the hood, they're only going to take the side, even if they eardrums still may take the side of what I'm getting ready to explain, they still going to think that they're uncool if they're not accepting the opinions of the hood. And what got T.I., what I'm getting ready to explain is this. What got T.I. a little bit over people like Ludacris and stuff like that is due to the fact of there's things that ain't even got nothing to do with the music, but we hear it through the music. T.I. built more of his mentality in areas where more percentage of the world, especially from the hood, and hip-hop is catered to that audience, than Ludacris. You could tell, even if Ludacris from the hood, he kind of got like a larger, even if he didn't go to college, he more in that spiritual space. So you could kind of tell his thought patterns wasn't developed on actual scenarios regular people like us have to go through to consider what we think is more meaningful to make a bar out of, even if it's not a sharp bar. We know what's being said and why it's being said and what multiple handful of situations you only have to be in to have that sentiment of connection. And that's what it makes someone like something more than something else that quote unquote sound technical J. Cole-ish. You see what I'm saying? This why J. Cole may have problems where Lil Pump could diss and it's not being seen as crazy as per se maybe another artist, or if we was going through another era at this time. You see what I'm saying? We going through, and that's another thing when it comes to hip hop. We going through some spooky times. And it's like the pioneers, if it's on y'all backs, y'all are only examples. Y'all better rap. It's on y'all for y'all and y'all handlers to be where hip hop is going. The class that was supposed to do it couldn't do it. They lacked personality. There was too much industry plants. It was a new version of Vanilla Ice, but a common version. So when you get 2006 and that era, like the Lil Uzi era, the Lil Pump era, it was the last way that the industry was able to capitalize off it. Other than that, these cats don't know what to do themselves. They never knew what people like, so you could stay on that vibe. They only knew what pocket they was in at the moment, and they didn't so happen to be liked at that time. Once that energy stopped being liked, they don't know what to do. So, and then they at the age where it'll look crazy if they even create a podcast. That's only for people who started like this, if we're around your age group, or if you're a OG rapper or OG magician. That, and you get ready to make Howard Stern look better just in the music world and stuff like that. Other than that, you gonna look crazy being Lil Uzi trying to make a podcast right now. Crazy Rich the Kid trying to make a podcast. Look crazy, Lil Yachty. And Lil Yachty tried it, and he see how he crashing out on the music. Y'all not taking the moves, being a representation, and first, not fluid in creativity to even be the representation. First of all, y'all don't have the creativity for us to take y'all serious. Second of all, y'all are the audience that steered us away from that. Third of all, y'all doing it for purposes of taking care of y'all family. So if y'all not creative enough, you're not even going to be inspired to play no type of role. And there ain't no role. You're either a person that move things forward or you're not. So a lot of those artists from 2016 are showing us that they was just new versions of industry plants. They never knew what they was doing on their own without their handler. You know what I'm saying? And we're going through a new golden era right now. You have to be the person that the handler take a chance on. The bucket hat or someone from your community or background or lineage take a chance on, and then flourish something new. How it always been. You know what I'm saying? We at that stage again. And we 12 minutes in, so let's get into it. We get ready to go into the Matrix or whatever. But that's just to explain on the hip hop end right now. It's left in the hands of the people who came before the cycle of 2016 because they don't know what to do with it or whatever the case. So everybody is thirsty just to hear some music. And here's the thing, right? Stop getting lost in, I'm going to mess up my career if I don't sell the amount of records based on, you have to understand this concept. Old world, new world. It changed every 300 years. Your concept is in the old world. Y'all never be able to be in that situation. And y'all really need to start being a creator department to y'all handlers and y'all in the industry. Y'all need to reverse the creator aspect of it and start to tell them this is not worth that amount of money anymore. And let's not do deals like that because it's going to be impossible to recoup. Let's stop the inflation and make lesser numbers or less attention matter more. Then start to work from there so we can start to see the real results in its more purity. It's hard to see real results and hoping it catch up if the first inflation is 100,000. Now, once everybody expecting that don't seem like much. We waiting for a person to have close to $1 billion. We all know that's not right. From the handler, the industry, to the artist, to to the people like us, we get sacrificed. Nah, that can't work. Because that's going to create weird perceptions to the point that it may be a faulty optics when it comes to all of us and the platform that we all have to watch, but it's separate from all of our opinions. So then you will have, and I hate to put this in there, because shout out to DJ Academics, but it become a problem when people like him may get paid for a narrative and then in the next breath speak as if they speak for everybody in the hood or hip hop. And here's where a person like that separate themselves from hip hop or separate themselves from who you speaking for, you seem paid for. You see what I'm saying? So it end up being a problem with our platforms and where we have to go for hip hop. And is it actually based on genuality or not? Because that's all we're looking for. We're not actually looking for nothing else. We don't even want nothing synthetic. We want the real way, like it was DVD times. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know how to be creative enough and flip that on the internet, y'all don't have to go to even the hoods. Y'all talking points can't be radioactive, GMO, synthetic. It's hard to explain, but we all know. The words could sound, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. But the energy behind it, that's what God looking at right now. I hate to bring God in it, but we going through a new shift. It is what it is. We in a new world. We in a whole new world. And when it comes to, matter of fact, let's break this down, because this even getting into old times like Outkast and all that. This ain't nothing but one of them arguments being sparked back up. But it's too many nerds right now that's able or may be paid for, that's clouding the actual reality of the conversations we having in the barbershops in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Inspiring the suburbs to have and things of that nature. This is sparking those kind of conversations. And we're not going to have enough hip hop, actual hip hop, genuine people online. We're not even having right discussions and things of that nature. Do y'all know how long this been going on? The South versus New York, and based on substance, is based off preference, what we think lyrical or not, and how they been going to war onto that. And that been a good discussion. Both of them together, New York and Atlanta, been holding East Coast and the South down so hard, they didn't kick West Coast out of the damn conversation. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, this been a couple of decades type thing. Y'all taking this away from music and stuff. This is another thing y'all have to understand. Trolling have to be back to supported by music. You have to have what put you in your position in the first place, always there. It don't matter what it is. Taking it beyond music, business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. If you're in white collar, blue collar, Leonardo DiCaprio, catch me if you can energy, you can't take that and be like, I'm about to be a realtor. And then now since you're a realtor so long, someone else is scamming more in your world, your other world of what made you money to be a realtor. You could think that the realtor money is all good and brag about that, but eventually people about to start saying, wait a minute, remember how you got into the real estate business? And what if your real estate business fail or whatever the case may be? What you gonna do? And then if you lose your 1-2 on that catch me if you can energy or whatever the case may be, now what? You see what I'm saying? So you got to have still to catch me if you can, and the real estate, aka you got to still rap and have a meme. Then that give the rap more substance, because you can rap about a meme. But it can't be the other way around. And this is like a small percentage scale of one of the issues we see in the Drake and the Kendrick battle. See, there's a thing when it comes to sentiment now and intentions. And everybody may not know how to explain it. Everybody ain't the intelligent medicine man hood homie. So there's things that God didn't kick down the road based upon our meaning and reasonings behind things that may have worked before 2016, that may not work now, that people are not even looking at as a thing. You see what I'm saying? Because we may be so much into our biases and our monetary gains and how we may have start to flourish and stuff like that. Our intent is being looked at, and a lot of things in the old world before 2016, right? A lot of the intent that was built on it actually was fruitful for certain rollouts, certain things we was doing. It was even times where it was certain effed up moral systems we all had over here on this American soil when it comes to now Taco Bell got chicken nuggets and stuff like that. They don't, I'm just making this up, right? Where We champion that. But we in a different state now, where it's like, yeah, if you're lost in the physical, that makes sense. But from a spiritual nature, what is you trying to do? Is you trying to stop Burger King from feeding their family? And you're trying to just take the whole block, Taco Bell? Want you to stay in your lane and be tacos, or do a deal with McDonald's to get some chicken fingers or something like that, and now everybody can eat. But the destruction energy, I might not let you get away with that. I might make your chicken nuggets nasty and make everybody start saying Taco Bell don't have no business making chicken nuggets. When in 2016, that might have been like, ooh, look what Taco Bell did. They took all the Burger King's customers and stuff, and everybody championed it. So it's like stuff like that. Like, the God is switching moral systems or something based upon, I guess, whatever previous old world moral systems we had ain't seen right in God's eyes. It may be predicated on things that God is looking at that should be praised, that's actually being destroyed. And a lot of things that we think about money. A lot of times we chop down trees for it and stuff like that. I mean, they're trying to switch it to electronic and stuff like that, but, you know, there's other things we got to clear out as far as how we mentally conduct ourselves before we fully get into investing ourselves in a fully new way of how we doing it. Or, so we still got to be in some safe haven a little bit, but at the time, still, that's just an example of how God is looking at things. You know what I'm saying? And you're able to fail. You're able to go against others. God is not looking at that as you going to hell or not, or whatever the case may be. But make sure your intentions is right. That's what God look at. So that's what all that was for. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's break it down when it comes into their energies on the Mortal Kombat scale. And we can break down certain other celebrities and beefing or whatever the case may be. We ain't got to stick with music either. We can break down other people, and once they go together, going against each other, all the way down to damn Jerry Springer versus Maury Povich. I think they won. They both Aquariuses. So you know they was gonna have a microphone in front of their mouth and get $1 million some way somehow. Aquariuses, well, you put them in front of a microphone or something like that, they whole family get ready to be okay. At least the ones they care about. You know what I'm saying? But look, check this out. So now, what actually have T.I. just sparked right now? T.I. have actually just sparked the hip-hop focus on rapping abilities again. And this has been boiling from the new East Coast versus the South since the early 2000s. So we have to understand that. And when it comes into, well, I could kind of feel that impression from T.I., not so much of 50 Cent. You could kind of tell T.I., because they both from that era, but you could kind of tell that's on people like T.I. mind still, Jadakiss mind still, Fabulous mind still, even Jim Jones to a certain degree, because Jim Jones still putting out music and stuff like that. So it's like a defense. And here's the thing, it's not even about just them. This been bubbling. If y'all know how to keep it music, even if it, you know, because we all from the streets, but it has to be genuine. But the creativity has to be the starting point. We even see 21 Savage versus Fabio Foreign and things of that nature. That's just them sliding into, based off their scenarios in their career, into a position off the same scenario that started in the early 2000s and things of that nature. But they have their half out, half foot in, half out. You know what I'm saying? Like 21 Savage he's from that a little before 2016 era. So he kind of like understand the 2016 era, but still understand before that. And the Gucci Mans and the T.I.s and the 50 Cents and stuff like that. So it's like they there. Artists like that is there. And Fabio Foreign, people from New York sometimes, it's smaller on a percentage scale for them to be totally new aged out. But, well, new rapped out and new drilled out. But it's like the way the industry is right now, the artist that's halfway there, half foot in, half out mentally, but and still at that age where they can possibly, if they wanted to, jump in, they don't see the motivation. So they understand it, but yet they're just young enough, early to late 20s, early to mid 30s, to be like, yeah, I understand it, but F that, we ain't in them times right now. But then when you get totally to Uzi and stuff like that, they just totally don't understand it or whatever. So it's like we in a world where ain't nobody trying to save hip hop, but hip hop not even looked at something to save right now. It's like some bastard child. And T.I. look like he taking a charge a little bit where it ain't nobody else taking a charge. You know what I'm saying? People too busy. I don't know what people looking at right now, but it's so much untapped in gold. You could be an artist that just figure out a new way to release music, or figure out a new way, and then then the industry come, and then but that's a good thing. Now it's a whole new way, and now you the first person rich off that. It's like y'all keep stopping. Y'all looking at us content creators too much, and not realizing it's the same thing. Why do y'all think all y'all is even trying to make podcasts? But I don't know why y'all ain't trying to include a theme song or whatever the case may be. Well, shout out to Let's Rap About It. They the only ones making sense when it comes to that. So that beat should be getting money. Everybody they got rapping on that beat, and the intro of them on it should be making money, even when they ain't live at the moment. Because what is it, every Wednesday? So even when people playing the replay, that should be going towards the damn streaming, the music too. Because mines do it. So why wouldn't anybody else getting hundreds of thousands of views? You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, people should be creating a new way to inspire up-and-coming musicians and content creators and things of that nature. Who are the pioneers in this time? I know I am, but for the most part, it ain't no market for it. So we need names in it for me to even be a participant. Because I'm not funded to just create a whole new world yet. The idea, and we at the early golden stage. The new world is here, and I created it. But I'm not the only person. Everybody can use their own mind and do their own thing, but it ain't what we do, is how we do it. As long as everybody participating in this new world, you could be the main thing now. It's so many rappers. Even if Jay-Z dropped right now and wanted to be the best rapper alive if he wanted to, he can. And have a whole new 10 years career. And then show everybody this would it look like if you want to still go on tour in your 60s or something like that. Like this how dirty low we is in all the industries, but how much new of the world we in right now as a recharge or a rebirth. So I don't know why people ain't taking that and too busy sitting back copying and thinking like, I got to figure out what's the next lit thing. How you think we made YouTube lit to make it even profitable now? Because now we made it the new TV, so it's something to do on here and it's profitable now, right? It's because we sitting around being creative. So that don't stop. Use this as another gadget, just like we do with how we bring ourselves into existence. The spirit, the mind, the soul creates the mind creates the body, and the body creates the external things. Then once we create a new mind, a new idea, that becomes a new organ, and then that can become a new looking body, or whatever the case may be. So and then the previous one end up being something that's a little bit less useful and more familiar than the next one we get to make. So what's first shall be last, and what's last shall be first. So if we was walking brains, and then another brain kept coming back saying, hey, we could do this in this way, or whatever the case may be. Once we all start to shift off, right, then that brain had another, the spirits came back and had a brain of something else. You know what I'm saying? Then that brain was something more familiar, then that something else was more like the mind, or something that we have to get more used to, and it could be all over the place or something like that. Then we just duplicated and evolved and created all kind of organs and stuff, and that's how it's supposed to play out. But that person have to be the first person over the hill before I hit you with a goddamn arrow, because I'm the one tell you it's a hill in the first place. But look, like I said, so T.I. has sparked hip-hop focus on rapping abilities again that have been boiling since the early 2000s when it comes to the South versus East. And some of y'all butt hurt, especially when it comes to y'all new people energy. Y'all not even knowing what y'all supposed to fulfill. You keep playing around, you're going to make either side look bad. In this case we're going through right now, it's on the side of the East Coast. Y'all keep playing around, y'all going to make the East Coast look bad. And then if the focus is on everybody focusing on music and rapping abilities right now, man, don't let everybody algorithm start getting filled up with a whole bunch of drill songs where y'all trying to rap like UK artists, rap like Chicago artists on UK beats. Y'all whole coast about to take an L by default, guilty by association. You know what I'm saying? This the Northwest Territory. You think it ain't people sitting around waiting to take positions, waiting to take spots? Y'all playing. Y'all playing. You act too goofy. You act too serious. The serious supposed to come from after you already creative. then you can throw the seriousness in there. If you already butthurt and you already want to stab everybody and give everybody $150 just cause, but you in the industry, get out the way. You wasting time. You ain't even like, you know what I'm saying? Why ain't you in jail? Oh, who gave you even a career? Are you wasting time? We not entertained about someone who just lost. You know what I'm saying? So you go somewhere, ain't no money in somebody just lost. Let me tell you that right now. Ain't no money in somebody just lost right now. So T.I. has sparked hip-hop focus on rapping abilities again that have boiled since the early 2000s when it comes into the South versus East Coast. Hip-hop and substance. Back then, the West Coast was included, but they kind of drifted off with the kind of Kendrick Lamar and Big Sean, J. Cole, backpack, emo, SoundCloud, or the common rapper complex industry plant artist era. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real thing. Drake came a little bit before that, but Drake is still one of those, I got the perfect industry plant. I got the perfect Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it was 50-50 though, where the industry, the tactics, and based upon the way the technology was at the time, some still have to be grounded on the genuine purposes. It couldn't be fully GMO yet. Right now, online, and then the 2016 Lil Pump, Uzi Vert, Little Wave, and stuff like that, they was able to fully test out the fully GMO era while still having the reciprocation of the old world, because that's still a piece of the old world. But then they tried the conducts of what they trying to create new while we're going into the new shift and going into the new world. So that energy didn't last because the shifts, too many shifts happening. And it was only funded by the old world, but prompted up to look like it's going to present for the new world. Yet the artists themselves can't be those representations. They lack talent, or they lack membrane or something like that, especially when it comes to the emo rappers. A lot of them couldn't even handle their life. So once they got a little bit of money, instead of the drill artists using all their money to get rid of all their enemies, all their money went towards pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, and fentanyl got rich. Rappers disappeared, fentanyl bank accounts got rich, and money appeared in their bank. So like that's the only thing, you know what I'm saying? So these cats just got high. The druggie era, or whatever the case may be. These cats just got high and went to sleep and never woke up again. So we forgot about record sales. We forgot about being some type of part, being a representation for your territory, your area, and not understanding that us as fans waiting to see someone else from your area. So once you got a career too long, and us from the hood know what we got to deal with, and especially if we ain't even making it, so we got to deal with these minds every day. And you look like you using your money to escape it then. Why you ain't bringing nobody from your hood or nothing like that? And then why everybody is around you seem like somebody recommended these people around you or something like that in the industry or something. Nah, and then you're going to start not realizing that's why you ain't selling records. Us as fans can't explain that. Well, I can. I'm the intelligent medicine man, homie. But the average fan can't explain that. They just jump on somebody else and have those other on a percentage scale reasons of why, and then the technical reasons why. And then you'll still be trying to act on your technical reason and have your handler and your team fund it, but really be losing funds. And here come the recouping problem. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, damn, the first rollout worked, so I got paid for this, hoping the second rollout gonna work, and we having a problem. Then this comes into existence when an artist is in that position, pushing an album back. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you gotta go back to the drawing board. But yeah, so keep that in mind. West Coast got out the game due to the fact of this little Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, J. Cole backpack era. So when you got so much of the industry funding things like that, they got a territory, but when it comes to funding Kendrick Lamar, you get people like The Game getting shadow banned. You get people like, you know what I'm saying? Because it come with other energies. And there's a lot of other West Coast rappers that kind of get shadow banned a little bit. So when it comes to what the average hip-hop fan is looking for, that comes with the creativity, right? We don't get that. We get the artist, and the thing that they come with is the percentage scale of the industry. They don't come with the artist and what they come with. So the artist part, the industry part is included. So we understand when y'all playing with our mind a little bit with symbols and stuff like that, but it's still predicated on genuine. Our spirit don't know why, but we more attracted to that. Same way how we're more attracted in the hood and the suburbs mimic the hood to T.I. versus 50, then Drake versus Kendrick, but based upon we're in this new world and the way the industry is dying, but the way that they're trying to utilize their tactics online, here's why we're getting ready to see the optics the way that it is, where we're not going to get reality being presented online. Keyword. Now, due to the fact, or due to this being more genuine, a more genuine situation, how it always been to make any hip hop music, whether it's beef or not, more selling or whatever the case may be, in any capacity. It has to be, oh, we know him from the hood, or oh, we know this. That what makes us buy their shoes or whatever. Or if this person get into the beef, it's because of a real situation they got. Not we start feeling it. You might rock us to sleep, but man, spirits wake up after a while. We'll start to feel, even if this didn't actually happen, it could be a more crafty way how it happened, where they didn't have to have an actual conversation, but we even start thinking that. We start thinking, man, these cats probably had a conversation behind closed doors, and this is guerrilla promotion. Like, shout out to Turk. Like Young Turk said, this is guerrilla promotion. These cats talked about this before this. So, but if it's genuine, the way the labels used to do it, they had to catch it first. So something may have happened, but then you add sauce to it. All right, we cool with that. My bad, y'all. So anytime we do find out that a lot of it was to sell, we able to get over that. You see what I'm saying? But when it's more on a percentage scale of that's planted first, then that, nah, we gonna catch on after a while. Even if we don't know how. Y'all, so I'm warning y'all, industry and roundtable, in this new world, if you're really trying to capitalize off something, keep your mind on this. And if we see actions and y'all don't, just because y'all around a bunch of people and you probably just the only person that watch me and think, nah, it ain't like that, whatever. All right, you gonna see how God work. Y'all will not make as much money as y'all did before. The reaction from the crowd of people, you may think that they don't listen to that, so it ain't people in the world just automatically gonna think what he talking about. He a fake medicine man or whatever the case. All right, try it or whatever the case may be. And that's when you're going to realize y'all need creative directors again. Y'all need creative directors again, or whatever the case may be. You're in a comfort zone. And that ain't no money in comfort zone. Scared money don't make no money. You know what I'm saying? We just had a time right now where God putting that to the test. Is you really scared? Is your money scared? Because we had a time right now where you got to take a risk. You got to, but you could start something that spring off a whole new 300-year cycle though. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do. That God want people to play dice right now. God said, the hell with chess. We playing dice right now. Roll the dice. You ain't going to always win. You ain't always going to get that recoup. But what you create will be a foundation that everybody ain't going to have no choice but to do, because everybody tired of any of the old ways of doing the things anyway. So it's just inevitable. So do you want to take that risk that could be a more beautiful outcome that you ever can imagine? You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's nothing for an old rapper or singer to become the new, some type of Jimmy Iovine Interscope right now. And it don't even take much money. And you could create some type of team that create an online label that y'all doing things in real life, but y'all figured out a new way how to capitalize like an industry or whatever. So you got this whole manuscript for everybody who signed to you. Whoever signed to you, they go to your streaming service. They go to your thing, like whatever you built. How wouldn't that be like some new Interscope Records type stuff? Beyond y'all record label and just putting on y'all homies type stuff. It'll be an industry type thing where y'all understand it through the way the bucket hats understand it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all past that level of, oh, I got a record label, I'm getting ready to sign my homies. No, you got a system. So people sign into your system. So your record label could be part of your system. But the system is the system. That's what other ethnic groups don't be paying attention to. And we got people catching up right now in ethnic groups like East Indians and Arabs and Chinese. Well, they've been there. And Europeans be learning from them. But a lot of times, other ethnic groups got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's a different type of race. You got to learn how to build a system, not always participate with your creativity within the industry, but an industry is made off a system. So y'all be having to wait, or we be having to wait till an industry is made for us to try to be something in it, where all we gotta do is create a system, and an industry falls right from that as the fruit. We have to pay attention to seeds that become things, not wait till something become, and then you ain't got that godly process. So you always in some respiration energy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But look, check this out. So, but like, yeah, due to this being more, this situation with T.I. and 50 being from a starting point of it being more genuine, how everything's supposed to happen, right? Based on it being more genuine and on reality on a percentage scale, then it's not going to get as much, and it's not industry crafted for capitalists and colonists and handlers to get rich off of first. It's not going to get the proper old world hip hop media coverage like Drake and Kendrick did, because 90% of the current hip hop media are agents or the feds or work for the feds. You know what I'm saying? And even if they do start covering it, the narrative will be GMO and paid for and crafted. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be talked about in the favor of the highest bidder. So whoever paid the most of whoever beefing at the moment, they're gonna is the narration gonna be talked about in their favor or whatever the case may be. So this is why the Drake and Kendrick didn't feel hip hop. It was too much industry fluffiness involved in its original starting point. We sense that. So we sense when something being forced. We sense when Drake drop a track, but it's higher on a percentage scale. The intent behind it when it was at the round table with the team and the handlers of, hey, we got paid to promote AI. So the creativity came after. It's like it's in a back seat. So it's like, okay, the first song, yeah, he did it in AI, but us as the audience can tell it's more about how we're gonna receive AI, other than the focus being Drake creativity and going at Kendrick. We sense that. You see what I'm saying? The average person just don't know how to explain that type of stuff. When something starts, you supposed to be creative first, then have AI reach out to you to be like, that's dope. Can we usher in? Then your bidding war could be better. Your idea of how you get ready to use it to be better. And it'll probably be to a point that, since he already a person that used ghostwriters, right? It'll probably been if he wasn't a person that didn't use ghostwriters, he would have already been creative enough to come up with a new creative way to use AI that we don't have to question people who use AI with their lyrics and needing help with their lyrics and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You probably would have been the first person to probably come up with a sample using AI for the beat. You know what I'm saying? Or using it to come up with new sounds for the beat or for a hook or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have just came out with a way to make us look at AI fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? And to look at you more fraudulent that you already look. So for the most part, it's like it's like that. And then even Kendrick, it was over exaggerated. No one, I'm not from California, but nobody from the hood actually think Kendrick Lamar can rap. He can't rap. Even in like the details. I mean, a person don't even have to use syllables and multis all the time. But it's a way you craft something. He don't got a crafting. Like Kendrick Lamar don't got a Kendrick Lamar sound. Kendrick Lamar don't got a Kendrick Lamar song or whatever. Which, when you mention Kendrick Lamar songs, you're going to mention songs that was on the billboards. Songs that be on billboards are not people's songs. These be songs that their team and their handlers talk to them about and hope that they're creative enough to reach that narrative, to reach that audience. So when you get songs that's on the billboards, them the songs that the label's going to pay for. And the label's only going to pay for something they got their hands on, all the way to the subject matter of the song or whatever. So when you get Kendrick Lamar's songs like We Gonna Make It, Swimming Pools, that's just like songs they made Young Jeezy talk about the president or song. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. You have to be used for them for something that they see in the world that they're trying to construct, and hopefully you don't have to make a law around or whatever. So them not necessarily artist songs. Artist songs be those songs on the beat cut. Those songs we be questioning why he ain't make a video or why she ain't make a video to that or whatever. And every now and then those mixtape energy type records be the records that be so much popping that the industry has no choice but to fund it. So we'll probably hear a new studio quality version. They might give it a Bad Boy remix. They give it a video now. And that artist, a lot of times those be the records that artist already did a pre-rendering or a pre-video to it for them to get hot in the first place. And a lot of times the label, sometimes label, it don't even reach that far. It be those songs that we all know from that artist, and the label still didn't fund that one, but it was the one that the labels got their eyes on them and stuff. And all the songs that we do get from them that's funded, it still have us questioning though, damn, they put a lot of money in this video, but why they do that song though? And then for the most part, that's when you know, that's when the label is still more involved. You see what I'm saying? One thing the industry got to learn right now is, before y'all start putting eyeballs on people's jackets and stuff like that, right? The same way you found the artist, whatever that they was doing, allowed them to stay in that creative space. Allowed them to be the creative director. And you artists have to understand that. The moment y'all start doing too much with the label make you do, that be the signs of you losing influence, or not influence, but not being able to sell. It don't be because you did the rollout the perfect way. The way the label trying to tell you and make all y'all think that you're making the right decision because of the check that's being cut. You're not going to be able to recoup or whatever the case may be. It don't be because of that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all labels, when you got your attention on an artist, they was already doing something. So be careful in today's time going through this new shift of starting to put your hands on it too much and you recommending them to upload pictures with one eyeball or whatever, or all that other stuff y'all be doing and stuff like that. Because the average listener and watcher may not know how to describe it, but what God doing right now is just what it is. That spirit also not going to be as motivated to just buy things or be absorbed in that artist no more. Just because of that. They just not going to know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. It's idol worship. It's not such of the signs itself, it's the energy we get it. For an example, just like money. It ain't such the money itself. Money ain't evil itself. It's the things that people do for it. So it's the energy behind it. And what is the energy? A collection of thoughts and feelings. And when so many spirits add their own subjective thoughts and feelings to that same energy, it has a life of its own, right? So when you think about some of these signs and symbols, they're made higher on a percentage scale with the intent of bribery and money making. See what I'm saying? So a fan can have their favorite artist, comedian, actor, or actress, but if they see that sign too much, they may not know what these signs mean. But here's the thing. The spirit creates the mind, and then the mind creates the body. So the body mimics the mind. For that thing to be there in the first place, it only got something to do with how the sign and who put the meanings behind it has something to do with it in the first place. Money. So when that artist got liked, they was bummy. When they had that sign on them, the average listener or watcher don't know what they looking at, but the energy behind it is, oh, this artist is trying to rock me to sleep about something. I don't even think this is really sincere. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, you would get a Rolling Stone magazine with homegirl on there, Rihanna, with blood dripping down her face with a nun outfit on, and that don't spark the same attention as it may have sparked before 2026. See what I'm saying? So now it ain't got nothing to do with someone trying to make it look like, oh, this somebody a nun. Oh, it got blood. This is why they do that. Did you see that magazine? Ain't got nothing to do with that no more. Now it got something to do with whoever made the magazine. This is what they're into. And if they're into that, this is them people who believe that, how they really look at their religion. They probably look at themselves as a vampire, and they're just using this artist to sell it to people that artist audience is. You know what I'm saying? It's like so the average person who may have been a fan of Rihanna may not be so motivated to buy her next record. So even if she sell 1 million records next time she drop, that has nothing to do with last time she dropped her selling 5 million. You see what I'm saying? And then it's gonna go less and less than that, less and less than that, to the point that we kind of hear now. Y'all trying to make 100,000 sound like that's a lot of records, knowing damn well back in the day and before 2012, going gold was looked at like we could do better. Let's get a Bad Boy remix. Early 2000s, let's get Nelly on a remix. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know that. Now y'all know that. So we going through some type of justification energy right now. That if y'all go ahead and be like, all right, this is just where we at now, and I got to be the pioneer to something new, you take the attention span off our mind of looking at the new world like it need old world results. But you got to be the creatives. Y'all got to start putting them in y'all bars. And it take notable people. People with notoriety. Y'all got to be the ones to be like, don't nobody care about first record sales. And you got to be creative in your music. A song we like. So as we're listening to the song, we're getting programmed also not to care about first week sales anymore. So the next person, even if they sell, we might be like, oh, that person got fake numbers. That person ain't sell that much stuff or whatever the case may be. We like this artist. And then for the most part, now you starting to get real fans again. And I'm just using that as an example. Y'all learn how to be creators. There's so many untapped energies y'all know how to jump into right now. I mean, y'all should be knowing how to jump into right now. God gave me all kind of gold. I could be giving y'all all kind of gold and stuff like that, but y'all don't got to be waiting around waiting on us and content creators and stuff like that. Y'all could be some pioneers and have us start doing something and shouting y'all out like, yeah, that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because Lord knows if those are rappers on Let's Rap About It podcast, the Jim Jones, Fat, Mano, and Dave East, that's what you're supposed to do. So all New York rappers supposed to go through that. All up and coming New York rappers and familiar New York rappers. Like, why not? You think Atlanta ain't been doing that, and that's how they started selling more records than y'all, or whatever the case may be? One person get a grassroots studio, and all they connects that they know that's rappers already and unknown rappers and stuff. Think about what Gucci Mane was doing and stuff like that. That's all y'all gotta do. We don't even care about bars that much. We start being attracted to things we already doing, but we ain't got access like y'all that we have to do in the hood. That's all we talk about in the hood. Hey man, if I go get this building and stuff like that, we're gonna have everybody here. We're gonna have homeboy or homegirl open up. We're gonna boom boom. We're gonna triple up on whatever how much liquor sold or whatever our case may be. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna flip the entry fee or whatever bar we rent out or club we rent out. You know what I'm saying? This is what we talk. We don't have access like y'all. So we only got each other in the hood. Y'all got access, but y'all did so many energies in the middle of getting that access that separate y'all from what we connect with, that you don't even got to rap about that. But this what makes us rather gravitate and listen to your music more. You're supposed to be a rapper from the streets, not a rapper trying to sell the streets. Once you get into that pocket to try to sell the streets, we know that someone else getting more money off of it than you, your people, and then we ain't even gonna get fed off the music. It ain't gonna have all the meat on it, pause, like it used to when you was just like us. You ain't gotta be in the same position we in, but don't go on start thinking like calling us though. Like, we don't care about that, because we still going through the stuff that whatever you get ready to use, it's done on us. We don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care about that type of stuff and those little colonist tactics. They'll try to still put more energy in y'all creativity. Then let all the other stuff come to be, right? So understand that. But look, this is what specifically why the Drake and the Kendrick didn't feel hip hop.
It was too much industry fluffiness involved in it, in its original starting point, which makes it a disingenuous beef through the eyes of the hood. The original intent of the matter is the most important of how things are received, whether people are around or not. The average fan can't explain it, but we will see the physical results. In the spiritual world, in the mind, the physical, the average fan ain't going to be able to explain it. But in the mental world, in the spiritual world, in the physical world, it will be inevitable. You won't sell as much records as you thought you did. Or you don't get the reciprocation you thought you was. You think Kendrick ain't sitting somewhere thinking, how can he jump into this pocket that he thought he was going to fulfill by whatever he thought he did with Drake? It don't even matter if he do the Drake the same way T.I. did the little flip and 50 Cent did the Ja Rule. We ain't going to take it that way. And then they not even raising their fans to see it that way. Because they like that backpack era. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that make people do what J. Cole did. Get up there, get punched in the face lyrically, and apologize for fighting back. And delete your song. What kind of stuff is that? Like y'all like over exaggerating. Last time I checked, it's just music. Y'all make it seem like the world about to end or something like that because you spit a few words over a beat. like it ain't that deep for real. Like low key, it ain't that deep. You know what I'm saying? When you start going through, I seen God and God said I need to change my life because you spitting some words over a beat. I don't even think people in sports think like that. How would a person feel like if Michael Jordan or somebody shot a 3-point in they eye, and then they shot a 3-point in their opponent eye, and then they said, I ain't feel good about that and stuff like that or whatever the case. And then try to show up at the next basketball game and try to tell everybody you know how to shoot the best jumpers. I don't care. At that point, I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to do it when it counts. Listen, nobody care. You know what I'm saying? You scared to get over something? Man, everybody get over stuff. So how people got over something is the fruit. And then that manifests as money sometimes and things of that nature too. But even if it don't, when a person get over something or accomplish something or achieve something or overcame something, that's the fruit. That's the testimony. That would make everybody want to see somebody's VH1 story. Not someone scared of that and because you think life get ready to end if you go through it. You scared to go through the fire. You know, so that's a person that J. Cole scared to go through the fire. There ain't nobody in no career beyond music. You got to go through the fire. And politics, business, entertainment, education, religion, you got to go through the fire. And it's probably people who be testing people, especially in the music industry and online. They do content creators. And they attest if you going through the fire in some political type of way. And you probably can't. You'll break down, emotionally withdraw, stuff like that. And then you ain't going to get that check that they was expecting you if you went through the fire and came out as gold. You probably got a check. You don't even know what's going on a lot of times and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be scared to go through the fire. Ain't nothing gonna happen. And if something do happen, you'll be remembered forever, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Look, my people died for land. I know y'all ain't about to be scared to die of words and stuff like that. That don't even go that far. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to think. Because a lot of y'all be thinking like the craziest people, especially when y'all start thinking about the mafia or the Mexicans and stuff. Y'all be thinking about the craziest people or whatever. These people ain't crazy. It's just, let's say you a soft individual. But you allow all the thoughts that make you a soft individual not do certain things based upon you're scared of those outcomes. But here's the difference between you and who you think a scary mob boss or a Mexican that's a drug lord was. That's all the made up narratives and stuff though. But right, is this using this as an example? The thoughts you got, if you didn't allow that to affect your actions, you will be cold too and untouchable. Because the thoughts you got is the same thoughts somebody in that position that you scared to be in had. They just probably was in a situation where they did it. You know what I'm saying? Based upon their environment, living conditions, or whatever the case. Everybody thinks similar. That's what you have to understand. When you a nervous or scared person, you actually, those thoughts that you thought to make you nervous or scared was actually some intelligent ideas that if you was to do the things, those are things that even certain other people who may be clumsy, based upon having it fall on their lap, so they have to go through things to actually know what it means to understand what they're going through or whatever like that, right? you will be in a better position than them. You know what I'm saying? It's just you got to uphold it. Once something start, you got to uphold it. But those are the thoughts you need for you to be in some type of situation. It ain't that a person just hard and you like, oh, if I did that, I have to get out the way. Would make that person be in that position because they already thought like you thought and got out the way to do what they doing and created scenarios around that for that to work. That's what you missing. You see what I'm saying? It ain't that this person is just heartless. No, they just take actions to those thoughts you got, that those thoughts prevent you from taking actions. You know what I'm saying? That's what make people smart. Ain't nobody hard like that. I don't know where y'all be getting that type of stuff from. It's just based upon circumstance. And you might just be in a circumstance, so your mind don't have to be used for what they mind have to be used for. But everybody use their mind in a similar way. And don't never underestimate nobody. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's what I don't like about the 50 Cent and the T.I. battle, right? This is what I don't like about it. But it's too many internet chat nerd. If we like in some internet chat nerd era. I don't know if it's mainly the feuds or bots or a mixture of both. And they just want people to think about it a certain way. But you can't control how people think. So, especially when it comes to people's social media pages or whatever. Right? Now, we was back in the old world, and it was higher on the percentage scale of TV networking, then online, maybe. But right now, nah, people too busy investing in their own opinion and willing to use their own opinion if it's wrong for virtual settling and getting a bag in today's time. So we have to understand that as a starting point first. Using too much faulty energy behind closed doors can actually mess up a subjectory of, even if it's a play, when it comes into, people and how they try to steer their career and the moves that they're making. So let's get that clear too. But y'all need creative directors. The industry right now, as in some of you artists that's even trying to get into some type of retirement phase, you better not retire. You need to start jumping in some creator development stage, become the new Jimmy Iovines or some stage. That's y'all next role. Because the way the industry failing, it's almost like y'all only care if the bucket hats or the European or the Anglo-Saxons do something. And if they're not the creators and the cobalt minds, it's almost like God getting ready to take it from both of y'all. The creators and the cobalt minds. None of y'all getting ready to have it. Then what? Somebody got to be intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be intelligent. But look, peep game. It might be, we going through like some internet chat nerd era. So it's like they would say that 50 don't got to rap as if 50 the type of artist that was minding their business and making money, like just minding their business, and they ain't do like memes. You know what I'm saying? Like memes is engaging, but what got 50 to his position is music, for him to even be seen to make memes. So that's a double-edged sword. If you're on one side of the sword and trying to sharpen that, but then the side of the sword, and specifically the one that got you the sword in the first place, that's not being exercised. Here's where a dual sword start to come into an existence. And it might be in the hand of 50 Cent at the moment. See what I'm saying? So I can see if you was the type of artist like Jay-Z and you're not engaging, then it'd be higher on a percentage scale for us as an audience and fans to be able to justify it doesn't make sense what T.I. is doing. But that don't work in this case due to the fact of the engagement and things beyond T.I. that 50 was engaging with other people. So it looked like 50 got a lot of time to make theme songs and hop on 6ix9ine records or hop on other artists' records and perform. And it seemed like he got a lot of time to do memes, right? So you can't really use that. He not really acting like Jay-Z. Not to say Jay-Z is a way to act. I'm just saying, if you use that as an excuse or to justify why you don't have to make music. And here's another kicker. Jay-Z actually put a post up saying, challenging people to a versus. So if a versus ain't even out of Jay-Z space, 50 Cent can't use that as, because even when it comes to lyrically, 50 Cent ain't lyrically on Jay-Z level. So if verses ain't out of out of Jay-Z space on the business end to use that as an excuse. 50 can't use that on the musical or the business end, if Jay-Z even willing to do it. If anybody like Jay-Z, Nas, even though 50 might be having more money than him, but anybody like Jay-Z, even Jeezy and Gucci, besides the lyrical aspect of it, the actual events that happen in real life, there's really ain't no see, and this is why I say this might be what T.I. needed by him being a representation from the South and him trying to play that role too. This might just be what T.I. and the South needed to go beyond regional and just become in all the audience and fans' mind as like how Lil Wayne was trying to do. Best rapper alive energy, or no, I'm just hip hop and I'm the king of hip hop at the moment. T.I. can actually do that again. If he sharpen up, not to say he ain't sharp, I'm just saying we know when people get in their bag, then it develops. Like Lil Wayne had to start there, then it developed. If T.I. choose to start there, which it looked like he tried, if he start there and then get sharp in all areas of subject matters of songs with that trying to be sharp, lyrical type thing, then rap to a few New York beats too, that's it. He could be for the next 5 to 7 years, spark a new career and be the next king again, and start having that like a Lil Wayne type of what that Lil Wayne phase, where someone from the South could just be seen world non-regional now, and you could start being in our minds as no, you just a best hip hop rapper. You see what I'm saying? And T.I. is one of the people from the South that's on that table. You know what I'm saying? So if he go ahead and take it, it ain't nothing nobody could say, because he still got a chance to even get into that creative bag, to develop, to drop those Scarface type songs for the new age, to drop those. So for the next 10 years, we got a new version of what could be seen as classic. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest, this cat Kid's going in. King low-key got the best beat selection. His other son was Dominique the most lyrical, but just when it comes to the actual reality of it and the contender is T.I. You know what I'm saying? But just for the new age and the new crowd and people like me and younger and things of that nature to keep an eye on and stuff like that, King know how to pick some beats. You know what I'm saying? King know how to pick some beats. I don't know. He might pick a couple beats a little better than if T.I. rapped on King beats. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? And T.I. gotta lighten up a little bit. The seriousness is cool, but add a little bit of that leap of flavor too. The joking was cool too. At that first new track, you joke on his face a little bit, but add that to the bars too. Add the seriousness and the joking. Where, yeah, you could threaten, but then add the joking too. That's double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Because that will allow your mind to have some space to come up with witty bars. So you have those statement bars that's needed and the witty bars that's needed. Because that's what we get out of classic diss records. We get the vibe of the seriousness, but then we also get the creative, you know what I'm saying? But I'm witty too. See, when we got Kendrick, we just got, oh, I'm witty backpack. But we don't get that other inner hip-hop essence. And then they're trying to frame, let's use Game as an example. If Game was to use his wittiness, since it's too much paid for content creators online that take the hood and shadow ban us, there's no hip-hop content to explain that what Game might do might be too serious and not witty enough, even if he using his wit, but his energy is coming across too serious to some little nerd chat college dropout that's trying to be a backpack hip hop connoisseur at the moment. That got a page right now and probably getting paid for it, so they look like an undercover cop like Russell. You know what I'm saying? So that don't represent us. Y'all in the industry, please understand that. Y'all gonna, or you gonna start to keep experiencing records not being sold that don't represent us. You got to feed us what's already there and then work with the artists. I know it might be a little hard at this time, especially the artists that feel like they got their own notoriety, because they might start asking for a little bit more money and stuff. We out of time rolling dice. We ain't in no time of playing chess. We out of time of rolling dice right now. You know what I'm saying? Your moves, like we playing chess, it's like a board game, but it manifests in reverse down here. It's boring. You might know how to make moves, but a person is like go get frustrated and flip the table around like Jesus did in the church in the Bible, or whatever the case may be. And that's a form of dice. Roll it, taking a chance at something. I don't even want to play this game. I ain't about to play your game. I'm about to make a game, and you play my game. And whoever got the best mind, that means who made the best game. And people think that's the best way to go about something. So your way of going about something, I won. Your way of going about something got destroyed. That's another important thing right now. Don't play nobody else's game. They're already good at that game. Even if they're not creative in that game, they might be nepotism up, more rooted in that world. So the way that they got the audience, you're going to set yourself up to lose, and they're setting themselves up to win. So they just have to be creative enough to suck you in their world to think that you have to play their game. We're in a new world. You come out with your own game and let the best man, best woman win. Whoever created the best game had the best mind. So you made the audience and the fans think your way of going about something was the best way. And that's wins. And then the industry now got something new to capitalize off of and make a new industry out of to make money off of now. But we in that stage right now. Adding too much old world tactics or holding on to too much old world things that may have worked for you will be a dull sword right now. You got to sharpen your steel. You got to sharpen your steel in today's time. And y'all old rappers got a chance to not be looked at as old the old rappers to y'all. How people y'all came up with, y'all knew how it sound, so y'all was in the energy for y'all people. But we at a time right now where that's the peak. So y'all never uncool. So y'all not in no position where y'all do something and y'all sound like the rappers that y'all came up off of. We're not in that type of time. Y'all have already added a peak type of creativity. So y'all are the pioneers. Y'all are who we supposed to look at to know that, oh, you can rap and it don't matter. You can rap to 70 years old. Look at this rapper. Y'all the only, if y'all don't do it, that's it. It's over for everybody. Money-wise, business-wise, hip-hop-wise. Y'all got to understand, we're at a new time. You even got to act like you a new artist. You just got a head start. Can't no young person even do better records than people mid, late 30s, 40s right now and pushing 50. That's what y'all got to understand. We're going through a time where it don't even matter how young people is no more. It ain't that time no more. The young person, if they're not in the energy of some old world that we're presenting in a new world right now. So once the old world, remember when it was new? You couldn't even imagine Lil Uzi being the same age as Tupac when they're making their substance. Yet, that's the age Tupac died. That's the age Biggie died. That's the age these people was. Busta Rhymes, Nas, Jay-Z, the West Coast rappers, Outkast and them. These cats was the age of these little emo 2016 SoundCloud rappers age. So this is why. And I'm just a little ahead of them. So I'm in the middle. So this is why us and people younger than me, that's their age, and people older than me, that's y'all. This is why we all looking at them like they didn't take the charge. They didn't take the cake. Or whatever the case may be. Y'all ain't got something. Like y'all was like nerds or college dropouts or something like that. So when your favorite rapper is Kanye or whatever, you miss a lot of elements. So we at the new golden stage. So we at the stage where things start. So it's at the beginning, like when astronomy and astrology was the same. Industry plant and genuine artists is in the same building at the same time now. We're not in no time have went and we can see what worked and now we're confused because we're 7 degrees as a distance. We're not at that time. We're at that time right now where we automatically know you industry. You undercover cop LaRussell. We already know, okay, this sparked from something genuine and they're getting worked on right now. Or this is genuine and why they're not getting worked on. Why they not paying attention to them. And why it ain't no way for them. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, no case right now. We at that stage. So even online, it's going to be presented that way. We got artists we already F with right now. And we have no other thing to question but why they getting views that way? Oh, nah, this person don't got, why is this person getting more views than this person? And then they're getting talked about. They must be getting paid. Their team is better or something. You know what I'm saying? Or something. They're more industry. You know what I'm saying? This is the only kind of conversations we know how to have right now. Don't do us like that, industry. Get some creative directors in there. Understand, there's an optics of how we see things, how the people seeing things right now. So these creative directors got their finger on that. So they're making the industry and each team put more effort in their rollouts, put more effort in how they're trying to come across and things like that. So there could be some new pockets that look fruitful for investment that we can start seeing, oh, there's some new money now. There's some new money rolling now or whatever. There's some new excitement now. And then now you get new artists. That's like new people joining the military. So that's what makes the military good. You got new energy. That's what makes more money. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't always artists. You got different pockets now. Now we need new A&Rs again. Now we need new, because these things matter. And the money look like it's doing something. And the money look like it's flipping. Or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it take right now. But it take the creativity first. But yeah, here's what I don't like about the energy with the internet right now. They make it seem like 50 don't got a rap and he's on some type of artist. Like he's an artist that just mind his business and don't do memes. But that's engaging. You can't engage but separate from part of the engagement. Matter of fact, the music is the main sword. It's the main piece that got you there in your puzzle. In someone else's industry, it will have to be their main puzzle that they can't leave from. Or whatever the case may be. That's almost like a president that wasn't in the military or something like that, based upon their current attributes of it or whatever. So a president that was in the military, let's say they'll look at the other president that didn't join in the military, they'll probably look down on him a little bit. Or whatever the case. Because the president will start bragging about things that the president that was in the military first had to be a representation of for that person to even be. Or whatever the case may be. So if they start beefing or whatever, it'll almost be like all of us won't have, we'll all vote for the president that was in the military because his arguments will be better or something like that. Because they can start saying stuff. They'll start saying things that make us think however they made us think what it takes to be a president. So that's the same way with the music or whatever the case may be. The memes and the music is supposed to go hand in hand. But if a person's still dropping the music with the memes, and then you got one person just dropping memes, but the whole platform they own is music, just like in a political, the whole platform they own is being a candidate, then here's where it still play out the same way. You're not going to get everybody accepting a meme thing. And if we start to hear people start saying that too much, the average individual, the average fan, especially from the hood, going to question, why this person talking like that? Was they paid to push the sentiment or the narrative of we don't got a rap no more? Was they paid? Or if they really feel like that, what make them think they talking for us? You know what I'm saying? You speak for yourself, punk. You know what I'm saying? That's how we looking at it. You trying to make hip hop and don't let this person have a lot of views. We're going to look at it like, oh, this person in the industry, they doing this. This person got a handler and a team. And that's trying to steer the narrative a certain way. Because we don't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Because we still trying to do this. It's almost like take 50 and T.I. out the way. You taking something from us. So you trying to make it seem like what we doing don't matter. And we can say forget the music that everybody listened to, and a movie would sound stupid without no music sequence in the background. Right? So for the most part, you're trying to take that away from us and make us think that, okay, it's just about to be a career off memes that ain't got nothing to do with what people do every day. what make the world go around. And everybody's supposed to spend more time on what makes the world go around. Farm, make music, make clothes, build up your people with your lineage, your spiritual system, and then exercise these things and forms of bargaining and exchange of how we do these things. Those are the things that make the world go around, nothing else. Now, how we make these things look, sometimes we do extreme things, go crazy based upon what we filter them through, like certain objects, certain money, and how we fight over it. But what we do for that to be, that's the genuine thing, and we just need to change what we put the energy into when it comes to bargain and exchange. And therefore, everybody could eat, so it ain't nothing nobody got time to be arguing about in the first place, unless it's a healthy competition as far as creativity. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I ain't got to rob you from no Jordans or no chain. You know what I'm saying? I got to rob you from no goddamn Jordans or no goddamn chain, or whatever the case may be, because both of us got access to the material to make tennis shoes and to melt down the gold to make a chain. Now, so our only fight is going to be who made the better chain and who made the better silhouette and tennis shoe or whatever. I got the most bitches because my chain looked better and my tennis shoe, so my swag, my flight, my wave was better than yours. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. So that's our only competition. And if you get all sassy and stuff, you might want to fight over it and things of that nature. Then I can use my creativity. Look, dude want to fight because I'm more creative. Now my chain better. I'm selling more chains for people who going through the same situation. I'm about to go buy that chain because I'm getting hated on. Look, I just bought the Dolo chain. I'm getting hated on because I'm cold with my creativity. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. That's it. That's the only time creativity, going against somebody in this world supposed to be, when we are morally. And when we in that aspect, those situations happen less on a percentage scale of actual violence. And then when it happens, it's more meaningful too, even if it didn't want to be capitalized off of and made a movie off of. We all gonna go watch it because it's made off of more of the genuine substance of the world that got something to do, that ain't got nothing to do with what we learn in school. But there's some spiritual stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So you need to understand that. So trolling always only work to the full capacity when the talent come with it, when the talent backs it, right? That's just like why the money is inflating. Ain't nothing backing it, no gold. Without the land, resources, money wouldn't mean nothing. You ain't got nothing to spend it on or whatever. Without the creativity that put you in that position, the resource, the gold, whatever you doing with it, yeah, it got you this piece of paper. It got you the ability to make this meme. It got you, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's not going to mean anything. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like going to be something you wipe your butt with. Something that's not valued. Some people don't care for. You see what I'm saying? So something has to be the foundation first. Then the other antics will fall into place and edge out the battle. When Jay-Z had Nas on the Summer Jam screen, Troll, he had a song to go with it, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what made it meaningful. That's what made it effective. When Nas said Jay-Z was like a Tabo hole with you 36 in a karate class, you know what I'm saying? That was the troll, but it was based off the real life. That's what made it effective. Jay-Z was actually in a karate class, like we see Kendrick Lamar taking karate stance. Like, if Drake made his own lyrics, he probably would have had that idea. Drake don't make his own lyrics, though. You know what I'm saying? He probably would have had that idea and got on stage and put a picture up of that Kendrick Lamar in a karate stance. Look, I know y'all seen that Kendrick Lamar was 36 in a karate class. He actually he played out a Nas bar. So there ain't no way how can't nobody to spank Kendrick Lamar, man. Come on, like, hold on, Kendrick Lamar in a karate class. Look at this. And this ain't AI. That is not AI. He doing the spanning Bruce Lee crane. He doing the rising Haruka dragon. You know what I'm saying? He doing the Taekwon Billy Blanks dog. You know what I'm saying? He doing the kneeling SeaWorld sea crane. You know what I'm saying? And it's AI. And he come from Killy for real. He come from, man, if somebody can't spank it, Lord Jesus, Lord, come on. Dude was actually 36 in a karate cat. Like, y'all West Coast rappers, y'all better get in the studio. Get in the studio. And get everybody need to get on some Lil Wayne train. Rap on every kind of beat. A New York beat, a South beat, a West Coast beat. Rap every type of topic, subject, and put some subject matter in it and things of that nature. Then have those small pockets of songs where you just black out. It ain't no subject matter, but you just putting your bars to the test. Therefore, we don't got to have those conversations we be having about Lil Wayne. All your songs not having substance. You know what I'm saying? You throwing it in. And then now you're back in that Lil Wayne era. You know what I'm saying? Where Lil Wayne, I'm not saying Lil Wayne ain't got no substance, but when we're talking about percentage scale and what you want to start off with, Lil Wayne just got too many songs without no substance. You know what I'm saying? Where it just sound like it's just purely based off bar making. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like Lil Wayne got the same problem Cassidy got. You know what I'm saying? And not to say, shout out to them. They're talented. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you gotta even the odds. Sometimes you need to push those songs out that you may think you don't care about, but the audience actually care about. This is what every artist need to do. Take yourself out of your own shoes and ego, and we all like music, and sit and ponder on the thoughts you went through to make you like an artist. See, these are the things that artists who need ghostwriters, if you was just to sit down and go through that process, you wouldn't need a ghostwriter anymore. Because you would start working on, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. You would start to see the what is your lost in. And you need to be more predicated on, oh, I liked this artist because how they did something. That's why I was even arguing at the school lunch table with my friends and other people and stuff like that, to nearly getting ready to throw blows and things of that nature, due to the fact of they like somebody else because of how. And we was just discussing, and I may have been lost in what we discussing as the what. What was hip hop? But I was discussing my favorite artists more on a percentage scale of how they was doing the what, how they was doing the hip hop. And that's what made all our discussions so heated or so fruitful and memorable and things of that nature. And when you start to understand that, you'll start to look at all the little trinkets that, and then you'll be like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to build for myself. And that plays out in reality as you having a song that's yours. You know what I'm saying? Or you having an energy that's yours or whatever. And you'll start to be like, oh, okay, I'm no longer something like a rapper. I'm the rapper. So that puts you in a mental space of putting out songs regardless of how people think, regardless of how many songs you got validation on, and you being higher on a percentage scale of thinking, I got to do something like that again because other people counting on that. That ain't the case. That rebellious energy, even if you fail, it builds up some other esoteric currency that work in the future for you to always be replenished, always be refreshing. And it play out in a way that if you ain't spiritual enough, you might not even know how to put those two together. But that's what's going on. And that's how God worked. And y'all got to understand that. So that's what 50 got to understand too when it comes to on the music side. Here's the thing. You don't even got to make a diss record. Make something in a pocket. It could be a song about a chick, anything. Make something in a pocket. People just want to hear music. It ain't about wanting to hear you rap. Music is desperate right now. Hip hop itself. And we don't got nobody to count on but y'all. We cannot count on Lil Uzi. We cannot count on, nor do we want to. You know what I'm saying? We thirsty for an AR song. See, here's the thing. It don't look like that to y'all. Because you're getting somebody from the hood right now that ain't in the industry. I built myself up. Not even in y'all backgrounds and stuff. So you're getting the genuine idea right now. You are left online to the opinion of the KOMBATs or like maybe the industry feds, hip hop police. So the subjectory make you think how you, because look, you're getting everybody think regular. You might be lost online, so you're putting the average human thoughts and feelings in the back seat. Don't do that in today's time. You're gonna let online confuse you. You're gonna mess around, try to please online, and crash out and don't sell anything. and you thought you was doing the right thing. Man, you was pleasing the K-bots. You was pleasing the academics crowd. And shout out to academics. I'm not dissing. I'm just shout out to everybody. I don't want to stop nobody making money. I'm just using this as an example, right? You might think DJ academics have an audience that represent your crowd. No, he don't. And if you cater to that, you gonna find out. You gonna find out real fast. You gonna find out all the mistakes, and you should have just did what you thought about in the first place. You might even make a song like I made, First Thought, where every lyric is about situations why you should have listened to your first thought about something. And every time you go with the second thought, it was a damn mistake. You know what I'm saying? And right now, y'all need to question taking too much advice from certain social media chats, like the academics and other people. I'm just generalizing. There's a bunch of people that's in his pocket, right? And you could be taking advice and generalizing your next moves off possibly a crash out. And by you not knowing about people like me, you're not getting your actual background unless they're from your territory. And they could be blinded also, especially if it's your peers in the industry. They're in the same position as you, kind of confused a little bit at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Look at Young Thug and stuff. 21 Savage. It's not so much of what they saying is wrong. They're catering to the wrong people. It's like they cater to the wrong people based off thinking it was what they cater to. However the hip hop police did it with the online and the chat system or whatever the case may be, and the view count, where you're not able to see enough hood people. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. But something has to be the foundation first, then have the other antics fall into place, like memes and stuff like that, to edge out a battle or whatever the case. So that's what makes the trolling long lasting and effective. With the actual starting point of what got you in your position going there. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's trash, we'll be able to justify it. So that's what makes the trolling, because here's the thing, right? In a fight, you don't even have to be as good. The trolling can edge out a fight. As long as you fought, though. You see what I'm saying? You could be the weaker creative person. You could have the weaker song. But if you still fought, and then you did some creative trolling with it, right? Us as the audience of fans, we'll even go back to those lunchroom arguments where we're even crashing out on trying to justify how you still just a better artist in some way. A lot of y'all have already did it. There's a lot of people who ain't even really good lyrically, but they crashed out the other artists because it came with the other antics. But the artists have to always remember it's because you still had the music, though. So we still have something to listen to without the antics for us to even make delusions what we all do in our mind and be like, yeah, this person's still the better artist, though. Yeah, that's really what we did with Ja Rule and 50 and a lot of other people. Not to say Ja Rule was better than 50, but the mind state we was in, it was music there and a trolling. So when you got the trolling, music, then just the extra sauce of actual events happening too, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We off to picking who we like without having to care about whatever the industry get ready to tweak and help y'all with to make it furnish just a little better so you get the maximum money out of it, at least, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just in case before anybody crash out too far. But that's what makes the trolling more effective and things of that nature, right? We even justify it. If a person witty enough with the trolling, not to say that will always work. I'm just saying, as long as you fight, and that's a double-edged sword. The trolling can edge out a battle. But it just can't be one dull sword, one or the other. Straight music, no trolling at this time, because it just got added to the artillery of hip-hop. And it just can't be memes without music. And here's the problem J. Cole is having currently, where it don't even matter how much records he sell, or how much they tell us he sell. That'd be made up stuff. But it's still a pocket that hip-hop is still built on more on a percentage scale that he's unfulfilled in, and us as an audience know he ain't fulfilling. So it don't matter how much money, how much record sales, how much external circumstances or business a person flourish in, that'll always be naked for the artist and all the listeners. Period. You can't get away from it. If something is built on something, can't have a quality without it, not be a part of your life. And no matter how much you try to justify whatever you got with it, you might as well be a new version of a red pill then. I got these rims, that's why she should like me. Not me building my character first, then the rims is just an add-on. Now I'm a double-edged sword. So even if I ain't got the rims, can't take my bitch. No, if you the other way around, then you got the rims. Once the rims go, the bitch go too. You know what I'm saying? Now you hurt even more. Now you out red pill. Now you out emotionally damaged. And now it don't matter if you're a millionaire. You using it out. You using it to crash out others. Now we got to think, is you miserable or not? You know what I'm saying? Because you got the things that other people will sit back and be like, man, I would chill out if I had that. Now, here's the thing. So this is the problem J. Cole is having at the moment, where if he would have left his song up, in the fight, and didn't apologize. And listen, we at a time right now. We're men. You probably would have got over it. And then if y'all would have got cool again, you would have had your manhood, dignity, respect, and your booty hole wouldn't be no red hot, goddamn flaming hot Cheeto, red hot chili pepper, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Now, if y'all get back cool, Kendrick Lamar still got that energy. And us as men, even if we don't talk about it, only sometimes punks and nerds sit around and think just because a person ain't expressing it, we don't all think it. No, just by you having to do that, it's because the vibe, the energy, the thought in the world that the other spirit created. Yup, Kendrick think that way too. Yeah, y'all cool, but he still could look down on you and your booty hole still red. You still lack percentage scale of respect, dignity, and manhood. So it's something that even females understand. This is something that females will fight for and crash out for before a lot of men at times. That's just human nature. Can't get around that. You can't play sports without that. You can't be damned sure no business. Y'all in the rap business. Can't be in no business without that, and you can't be in nothing without that. I don't care what you talking about. We men. We get over it. It ain't about to be the extreme. The world ain't about to end. And there's examples in times where people, specific worlds have end, based upon crashing out. That don't mean it's going to happen for you, and if it do, but at the end of the day, that ain't for you to think about in the time, in the moment. It's for you to just be a man and goddamn have your dignity and not get your booty hole played with at the moment. That's the only thing that's supposed to be on a person's man. When it comes to their family, their children, then their goddamn manhood. That's it. Ain't nothing else. You can't even make no excuse. Ain't nothing in the Bible gonna get you out of it. You ain't gonna find nothing. I said nothing in the library. I said nothing. What's his homeboy's name? Albert Einstein. Ain't nothing he said. Get ready. You ain't gonna find no book nowhere. Y'all, I'm telling you that right now. No psychology class. Nothing. Nothing, no psychologist, nothing. You ain't gonna find nobody got a scripture to help with anybody of that. Because any person you come across, they goddamn it dealing with the same damn thing. God gave every human that they had to deal with that on their own. Ain't no one can teach nobody out of that. All I'm saying. And that's why you ain't gonna find no study. Every human dealing with that on their own. Ain't gonna be no study. You dealing with God at that point. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that being J. Cole problem, he just got to recoup. Either find another victim or gracefully bow out without that manhood and respect. Yeah, you got to deal with that, though. Ain't no around it. Ain't no around it. And you can put out a diss song and make the diss song specifically just about that. At least you built up your respect a little bit. It might not be as high as where Kendrick might have wanted and where the fans might want it. At least you tried. God, you got a little bit of your dignity back. That's it. That's all that counts. That's how it's when it comes to fighting in the hood. Ain't about winning or losing. You just gonna know after this, I hit hard. That's it. And I'm willing to hit you that hard again. And that's it. That's it. And when you get to that level, you might not have to hit that person, and then y'all might become the best friends. That's really what it usually be. It only be small examples that we can see on movies or in real life that certain punks get scared of and do what J. Cole did. No, y'all, you over-exaggerate. Man, there's billions of people in the world. Stop getting lost in movies. I don't see you lost in movies. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know these cats be kind of industry plants a little bit. They come from that last little industry plant, backpack rapper, the industry did it a good job type way. You could tell. You could tell. But yeah, so without adding the element of trolling on Kendrick's side and just music, it could have been shaky. on the business end and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, right, music and the creator has to be first, or whatever the case. Because when we got into that Kendrick and Drake thing, that's what it was. And J. Cole, it really was just music, no memes. And it was like, you could tell it was more on a percentage scale of them planning this. So if it was memes, it was their teams and their handlers. So it was like crafted. It was like, and then these cats weren't even talented enough. Drake don't write his own music, and Kendrick can't rap. J. Cole was the only one who can rap out of the bunch, and he ain't had a heart. So it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, or whatever the case may be. J. Cole ain't had a heart, but the only one could rap. Rick Ross won out of all of it. Kendrick didn't have the rap, couldn't rap, but got the industry. So he was Dorothy, and goddamn it, Drake needed ghostwriters. So he was like the Tin Man. He ain't had the oil. So Drake, the Tin Man, didn't have the oil. J. Cole, the Lion, didn't have the heart, and Kendrick Lamar just so happens to be Dorothy. So he was just the main character. So we watched a good movie. Congratulations to the bucket hats. They made a lot of money, though. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to the bucket. They know how to make some money, though. They know how to make money. Now, let's get to the energies before we end this, because I should have been broke this down, right? T.I. is we're going to get to the pros and cons. T.I. is a Libra sun, a Libra Virgo sun on the cusp, Aries moon, Cancer, and on this side of the ring, standing on this side of the ring, is 50 Cent. He's a Cancer sun and Gemini moon. Now, they had their pros and cons. So we're going to talk about the pros first. T.I. Now, the moon motivates what we do, and the sun is how it looks and how we go about it. So T.I. is an Aries moon with a Libra Virgo cusp sun. So he got a lot of Virgo qualities, right? So here's the thing, right? Pros: passionate or aggressive when it comes to their relationships or practical issues, while still asserting their own independence. Also, a person with Virgo Libra sun on the cusp with the Aries moon knows how to self-prepare themselves for what they sit back and observe from others, what they consider not being prepared. So, for an example, the Virgo Libra sun with the Aries moon will sit back and pay attention and observe to what others may lack, or what they think is a lack of things, right? Or what make these people worry. Then they'll start going hard in that area for themselves in such a manner that they have placed themselves in situations that they can champion themselves for taking care of that responsibility, that they can see where others may have lacked doing that and may have failed in their outcomes of their situations because they wasn't having that thought process or their actions. So for the most part, they and the people who act like they don't understand where they failed at. This what makes the Virgo and the Libra sit back and observe, and then use that Aries moon, the world that they already in. They feel the need to be independent. So they use mutable earth, being mutable and being able to adapt to their own and other people's ways of thinking and being practical, and things that's dealing with reality or tangible things, Virgo. And then Libra, cardinal air, initiating and creating their own ways of thinking and communicating, right? Some type of logical way to create some fairness and balance in some type of area, right? So let's say if it comes to an issue, T.I. is more justified of being independent or being aggressive or wanting to handle something real fast when it comes to a practical solution that has something to do with something he relate to or his relationships, or something that seems like it's unfair. So anytime there's an unfairness, T.I. will look for some justice there, or try to create some, or go to combat where there's some form of injustice in some type of way. Not talking about the justice system. Talking about if someone trying, like if you're from the hood, somebody trying to play somebody or something like that or whatever. But from an unmoral base, right? A person might be trying to play somebody, not from a personal issue they have with them, because they trying to impress a girl. That'd be something T.I. don't do. Know what I'm saying? Or something that T.I. will look at that person and be like, you know, you phony a little bit. You ain't even got that. That wasn't no actual issue. You know what I'm saying? That'd be something that T.I. wouldn't like from a person. or whatever the case, right? But for the most part, that'd be these type of individuals. So and then they find those pockets where they think other people lack, even when it comes to a person not supporting themselves. They go so hard in those areas, the Libra Virgo sun with the Aries moon, right? Almost to a detriment. Almost to a detriment where people may sometimes look at them like, where it become obvious. They like, oh, you're trying to use what you're doing as an ego to look down on me, as if you sat around somewhere looking at yourself like I was above you already, and I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, where sometimes people with this energy can give off this self-projection that they looking at everybody else already as them getting ready to look down on them. And that may not always be the case. So they sit there and build themselves up for any situation that they think people are already thinking. So they built themselves up to not be looked down upon, and then act in ways that people already think they look down on them. So sometimes they give off the wrong energy, but sometimes it might be from situations that they go through where it might be a necessity. They might have actually went through that, but that can become positive. Now, when it comes into taking care of oneself in areas that other people have to go through a lot of situations to realize that they need to start taking care of themselves there. The Virgo Libra already sitting back seeing these things and justifying that they don't want to experience that and built themselves up in that area. It's just, it can become a problem at times if they start to use that as an ego. Now, but we didn't get to the cons yet. Now, 50 Cent is a Cancer sun, Gemini moon. So let's get to his pros. Now, he is able to analyze or communicate one's, now people with Cancer, now this is for everybody who got Cancer sun, Gemini moon. You already in the Gemini moon world. Mutable air, being mutable, being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of thinking and communicating. So you value your own, but larger on a percentage scale, other people's opinion or other people's idea. Now, due to the fact of these are different elements, the sun and the moon, that might not show through his actions through the eyes of others. But this might be something that also 50 Cent is aware of, or Cancer suns and Gemini moons, and then they hide that. And they actually put effort into expressing themselves for others not to see it that way. Right? So, Cancer suns, Gemini moons express themselves in ways that would throw people in the... I'm free. I'm back. I'm back. So, Cancer suns, Gemini moons act in ways to throw people off of what they think people think. So if a Cancer sun, Gemini moon thinks somebody think a certain way about them, they will come up with a mind state, a feeling, and an action and start acting in a way or say things to throw that person off from thinking that way. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes they may be wrong due to the fact of the Cancer sun and Gemini's being air. Gemini is a different element than Cancer sun. Cancer is water. So it's cardinal water. Initiate and create new ways of how to deal with the emotions and feelings. Right? So that's 50 Cent actions. Emotional or caring energy. But what do he care about? This would separate him from different Cancers. His moon. That's the moon is the most important. So his moon is Gemini. So the sun just carry out the moon duties and obligations. So if the moon is Gemini, thinking and communicating, this is what 50 Cent as a Cancer care about. Thinking and ideas. So 50 Cent or Cancer suns, Gemini moons care about what people think about them or what people think in general. And they will express themselves to match what they think people think a lot of times. And sometimes they can go overboard with that. Let's say they even got a loved one, and a loved one think that they got the most money. Even if they don't, they'll try to uphold that image almost in some type of way and care about that thought too much or whatever. And this what makes them like emotionally drained as a Cancer, because they'll be holding up thoughts, Gemini moon, that they'll start to think, why do I even care to uphold this? And then the Gemini would switch And then the Cancer sun will look like Gemini, start to care about something else. But if Gemini switch, the Cancers start to do that. And then it will leave the person that they was just doing something with and confused a little bit. They'd be like, damn, you was just this way, but now you acting this way or whatever. Yet you're expressing that you still got this same feeling, but you're going about it a different way or whatever. What is this? So a lot of times the Cancer sun and the Gemini moon, they act like Aquariuses a lot of times. They act like emotional Aquariuses. Even though Aquarius is not emotional, add emotions to Aquariuses. And you get a Cancer sun, Gemini moon that put effort into hiding how they truly feel on the external, because if they can observe how you think, you might have a thought that they can see, the Cancer sun, Gemini moon, that they can see that you might, that might look like it's belittling, or it look like it's weak energy. And even if the Cancer sun, Gemini moon is in that energy, based off this person having that thought, they will make sure they express themselves in a way that this person don't have that thought towards them. And then they even be extremely moody at times if it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Let's say if a person still starts expressing themselves in such a way, even if it's not on their mind, they might be expressing themselves a certain way that the Cancer sun, Gemini moon have made up in their own mind. This how this person might think about me, or they wouldn't think like this, or act like this, or whatever. And the more and more that this expression play out, that make the Cancer sun, Gemini moon, make them think that, oh, they already act like this because they're trying to show that they see me this way. The Cancer will start to act that out, and sometimes they be wrong. They prejudge a lot, and things of that nature. And I can guarantee a lot of Cancer sun signs and moon signs, they got positive qualities, but a lot of their problems come from underestimating. You know what I'm saying? By being in that mind frame. So they have to be aware of that. But for the most part, here's the pros. Being able to analyze or communicate one's feelings or emotional stance in a logical way or in a camouflage way, right? Or how one perceives others' thinking process as a way to protect one's own emotional state, aka excellent at reading the room. So Cancer sun signs, Gemini moons, like people like 50 Cent, they're excellent at reading the room. They know how to get in and get out of somewhere, or know how to present themselves once they read the room, and know how to fulfill a pocket if needed, whatever the room is being read. Even if they're not a certain energy, if the room need a certain energy, and let's say that certain energy, if it's not expressed, it could lead stimuli of being vulnerable, or lead stimuli of being insecure, or being seen as weak in some type of way. A person will invest themselves into playing out that energy to prevent those things. So these are good qualities when it comes to reading the room and things of that nature, and even survival tactics and stuff like that. So based on how you express yourself, or Cancer sun and Gemini moons, they can tell what part, based on how you express yourself, if you're around a Cancer sun or a Gemini moon, or somebody like Gemini, or somebody like 50, right? They could, based off how you express yourself, they could tell what part of your life you got that expression from, and why you are expressing yourself in that manner. Whether you're covering it up in something, or trying to overcompensate for something, right? Or if that's just genuinely you and how you act. No questions asked. Cancers, sun signs, and Gemini moons they know how to do that better than anybody. They know how to size people up real good, right? Now let's get into the cons. Now, T.I. con, when it comes into the when it comes into the Virgos, Libra cusp, for all of y'all out there, and if you got Aries moon, the con could be in an energy of overestimating what they have access to. See, the Aries moon is independent, but it looks like how they go about it, Virgo and Libra. So they're independent, but they go about it based on their relationships. So they're aggressive when it comes to their relationships, yet their relationships know they're independent. A perfect way to explain this is T.I. song, I'm a King, feature a Little Scrappy and who else was on it? And Lil Jon made the beat. The Libra energy plays out as I'm just cool enough and relatable to make relations. But the Aries kick in but don't forget, this the world I'm in. Don't forget, but I'm the king. When I made this hook, I'm talking about me. I ain't saying we all the king. You know what I'm saying? You make sure in your bar. And so the energy was so potent, he made Lil Scrappy, even if he didn't make Lil Scrappy. It was the presence. Lil Scrappy first bars is, I'm the prince. You just the prince. You know what I'm saying? Now, a person who may be like me, a Aries sun sign first, even though I'm a Sag moon, I might not be able to get away with it. Nor do I will feel comfortable being in that position first. All my songs will be just me first. And then me being on a song with someone else won't be that type of song. In my mind, I'm making a song with someone else. You know what I'm saying? So it won't even be that vibe. But since it ain't T.I.'s sun sign, it's his moon sign, it's his world. But since it's coming out looking like his sun sign is part of Libra. So some of his actions is, I could be in a studio with someone else. But my world, and what's about to be my lyrics, is this. So the sun sign is not in the way externally to prevent the moon sign to be at work. So it was more favorable or more easygoing for T.I. to be on a song with someone else and have a song saying I'm the king, head leader of the team, head of the team, and saying them all them Aries type bars, but being on a song with someone else, and almost Libra is so charming, it forces another person to hear that, but not take it that way. So you're gonna be in a studio and say I'm the prince, and not taking it away the audience is taking it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, so it's like a charming way of flipping it some type of way. So that's what these Libra / Virgos, but that come from the Libra sign. Virgo is just the practical sign. I can put the words together. I got this thing together, and I'm taking something a little bit more serious than you, because that's the earth element of it. So it ain't extremely goofy. Virgo don't allow the Libra to be extremely goofy. So T.I. don't be with no goofy stuff either. So he might goof with people he close to, but when it comes to that mind game we all play with each other in the hood, like that nepotism, favoritism energy that sometimes people allow to be more on a percentage scale to outweigh events and outcomes, even if it's drama, you could tell the way he built up his situation, he don't do that. So you can't use that for a form of intimidation, for a form of allowing a person to punch you upside the head a little bit more, just to allow them to win, because it could go a little further if you embarrass them or something like that, and other pockets of how we deal with each other in the hood, and favoritism, and who we connected with, and family. You see what I'm saying? When you set yourself up in the hood in a way where that don't matter, that means you not with the fluffiness. So let's say you're dealing with someone who got a clique, and they like jumping people, and everybody laugh, but you created something with yourself, or even if you got a clique, that don't work. It'll be a situation where y'all clash, not only will people be like, oh, why ain't y'all just fight the one-on-one? It'll already be a sentiment to even the people who jump people be like, oh, y'all fight one-on-one. I feel weak jumping him. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight him one-on-one. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then if the person weak that's in the fight with the homie that was jumping everybody, that's when that's how that type of stuff happened. Like, oh, you only hard when you jumping people and stuff like that, but when you got to fight one-on-one, you scared to fight. That's how that person start to run into those situations, when you run into somebody or somebody else with a clique, but they built themselves up in that way. You can't use that favoritism. So a lot of times, even when you can't beat up somebody, sometimes you can act like you beating up somebody if you come across somebody else with another clique, or if they just by themselves, but they didn't build themselves up. And people wouldn't care if you get jumped or you allow this person to beat you up. and you really had more abilities, but you know what that come with, because you ain't built yourself up. So you ain't gonna have nobody to care about you that way. You might even have people who is your homeboys make you feel like it make more sense if you don't fight back, because we ain't with all that, like that weak stuff. That's like some stuff in the hood that a lot of people don't know about that I'm probably talking to right now, but you know what I'm saying? But that one of T.I. cons is overestimating what they have access to until being in a situation where they are restricted from that access, which can be friends or associates or gadgets. Because Earth make you, Aries moon is fire. So that's independence or aggressiveness or passion. But it gets filtered through Virgo/Libra. So he can be passionate about earthly things. That's like a person that's passionate to get the things that they think other people need for certain things. So let's say, even if you're in a hood-like situation, that'd be the type of individual that already got guns. You don't, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sat back and thought about, oh, when cats be beefing, these be the things cats need. And they sit there and go get all those things and stress themselves out about them things first. Therefore, when it's time, these cats be having those type of things first. They head first, Aries, when it comes to the practical things, Virgo, and then when it comes to Libra, it filtered through. They got a lot of relationships to get access to that. Now, but a con to that is a person put too much, they overestimate that. And if they get placed into a situation where they don't have access to that and things of that nature, it can be very challenging for them and stuff like that. So when that could be a con for a Virgo sun, Libra sun, Cusp with the Aries moon. They spent a whole lot of time building relationships to help them situations independently, right? But the moment they get cut from that access, though, it's challenging for them. That's a con. Now, 50 Cent con, or cons for Cancer suns and Gemini moons, right? Underestimating themselves and others. When it comes into the Gemini moon and Cancer sun, you overthink and you always want to analyze what you're going through, aka the sun, and your sun is in Cancer. So you're always trying to overanalyze an emotion or something that you think you care about or other people care about. But when it comes to Mercury ruler, that Gemini, and it being your moon, where the actual all of our emotions actually at, overanalyzing happens. You could think yourself out of something, or think yourself something true that may not be true, or whatever the case. And sometimes a person in that position could think that they're left without access to something and overanalyze it, overanalyze how they feel about it, or whatever the case may be. So that'd be the concept of underestimating oneself. A person feeling like they can't get something another person got, even if they ain't, before even trying it, and things of that nature. And then sometimes that lead into building unnecessary animosity, and then that can be filtered out as self-projection from the Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon, where once you built up that damage, that self-damage, oh, I can't get that, I can't get that, it'll start to needing to be released. And that over-analyzing energy will start to get projected onto others, where a person start over-analyzing and overestimating others, and start saying, okay, well, whatever this person got, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. It comes from a stimuli of a person may be in a position to even be having that as a focus in the first place, of feeling like they don't have access to something, and they may have seen a lot of people with it, right? So now that they built themselves up in that world, they need something that they have. But then if it's not creative enough, it'll filter out as whatever another person think that they have, it ain't all that. So it's a self-projection. This person need to feel the way I feel when I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. So it can become underestimating people, looking at a person's value or what they have to offer or what their contribution as if it ain't what it is, or it don't mean anything, or whatever the case may be. Regardless if the Cancer Sun and Gemini Moon did something and had the same level of contribution. If it's coming from someone else, the Gemini Moon will go so far into analyzing, it'll get filtered out through the Cancer Sun and really start to think that it's not the same, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So it could be anything. two people jumped a 3-point shot and both made the 3-point shot. The Cancer Sun and Gemini Moon can talk themselves into emotionally really feeling like that person didn't make a 3-point shot. And if everybody around is saying, y'all both just shot a 3-point shot, right? The Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon would somehow make up something in their mind of how they're not playing basketball anymore. No, it's weird. Like, it's a weird thing the Gemini and the Cancer do that kind of flip things based upon thinking about it too much or whatever. And even though they know they playing basketball, it won't be about basketball. It'll be about, well, it ain't about the jump shot, and that ain't the reason why I said they didn't jump the jump shot. The jump shot is both of us was here and we both got paid to shoot the jump shot or whatever the case. And I got paid more for the jump shot or whatever. So they jump shot don't matter because when I shoot my jump shot, I got paid more or whatever. Ha Gee, you know what I'm saying? It's more of that. You know what I'm saying? They know how to find a pocket somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But underestimating others could be a con for any Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon. And this is where 90% of their problems come from. Underestimating others' contribution to something. AKA trying to come up with an idea why someone else not who they are based on what oneself already don't have. Now, it's almost like trying to criticize someone you think have what you don't have, and the emotional trauma that comes from that can make a person hate someone for no reason. So 50 might have that issue with himself at times where, and he might not see it this way, but people who close to 50 Cent or people who close to any Cancer Sun and Gemini Moon, you might be a Cancer Sun and Moon, a Cancer Sun and Gemini Moon, and you might not realize you might got people around you who see you like this. You might have, it might be certain times you find yourself liking people or disliking people or disliking things for no reason. And you might find yourself acting on that expression before fully knowing the reason to it. And then if it's a situation that played out where you're kind of looked at in the wrong, it kind of be too late and things of that nature. And then you left to have to justify it and justify how you feel about it first though. So you might escape into a hole or something like that. But a lot of times, Cancer Suns, Gemini Moons, sometimes they jump the gun too far or whatever the case may be. They sometimes they find themselves in situations liking people for no reason. And they might not see it that way. But I guarantee Cancer Suns, Gemini Moons, they have people around them that can pull out situations that they could be like, yeah, my family, my friend, my associate, my coworker, that's a Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon. There was times I was with them that we got into something and we had to really question after the fact, was it even really that deep? And once, depending on how deep and how it played out, I even feel the presence of my family, friend, associate, or coworker, Cancer Sun or Gemini Moon, being stubborn. And the reason why they're expressing themselves in this way, because they know, but things have already went too far type energy. So they're still in this pocket of trying to justify how the situation is what it is, and they still right in some type of way, or how it could be right, or how it ain't that deep when it is that deep. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like the Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon might express themselves based on their temperament and sometimes create situations before really realizing why they created that situation. Or sometimes dislike people before really realizing why they even dislike a person. And due to the fact of the moon and the sun being in different elements, the sun still acts. And based upon that being on their mind, they act these things out sometimes. And it takes actual situations to happen for them to realize, I don't even know why we really did that. But depending on what just happened, they also develop an ego to care more about what actually happened other than the reason. And if they was harmed or embarrassed in any type of way, they care more about that feeling and that being more of the purpose of anything else or whatever, other than the whole reason in the first place. they might have expressed themselves in a way where that might have went too far, that before even realizing to themselves that they didn't even really feel that way. It was just that moment. So Cancer sun signs, Gemini moon signs got a habit of getting lost in moments and having to deal with that, having to deal with the effects of that moment that the Gemini moon created, that is impossible for any Gemini energy, sun, moon, or ascendant to stand. And based upon the Cancer sun being a sun sign, you're left to deal with the bullshit Gemini create. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it was a Pisces moon or something like that, maybe y'all could deal with that better. Scorpio moon, Aries moon, Libra moon, Taurus moon, you'll be able to deal with those things better. Cancer sun, Gemini moon, that's something you really need to deal with. And you really could go in your previous lives and look at situations playing out and really could find those pockets where it may have been your fault. And you could kind of see how it went too far, but you could deep down know you're hiding, just expressing it was your fault. Just the accountability energy. The accountability eats you up. Cancer sun signs, Gemini moon signs get ate up by accountability. That the Gemini moon know how to intelligently decipher out of one's life when it comes to external representation. The Gemini moon know how to cover it up so good to make it seem like it's not a part of that person's life. That's what make the accountability start to become a bigger seed and fruit and eat them up alive and carry something to the grave. Carry an animosity to the grave. Carry a tear to the grave that just needs to be shared. Carry the let go energy to the grave that if you just let it go, you can relax now type stuff. Cancer sun signs can hold on to something for a long time. And when it comes to Gemini moons, being a Gemini moon, it can be a lot of the bullshit the Gemini moon created and then left you for dead. Left the sun sign for dead. And left the other side of Gemini for dead. Gemini is two different people by itself. So just imagine that being in anybody's moon sign. And then it just so happened 50 Cent got this in Cancer, and this for anybody. So when you got your sun sign trying to carry out some indecisive ass woman, which is our moon sign, or all of our mamas, carry out some indecisive person's decisions, they have you do something crazy and then switch up and feel a whole different way and leave you having to deal with everything that come with that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a chick that convinced you her man, but she never stopped cheating. So you have to get this idea that she's using me to boost her ego to convince the dudes that she's not stopping to still getting dickmatized, that she just like being in this cycle of having a dude to show other dudes that she just want to get dick down, but y'all not relationship types. And using it as a facade of she just made a mistake because she got a sucker. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that energy. Someone convinced you to switch up and you're left to deal with the bullshit. So she might not even stop fucking homeboy, but she created a scenario on putting people in pockets on who's relationship worthy and who's just dickmatized creep worthy or whatever the case may be. And if you don't realize that, you'll be in that cycle. For all people in that type of relationship. But when it comes to Cancer sun, Gemini moons, when it comes to y'all situations, it play out like that. This is how y'all inner self is playing out. The Gemini moon and Cancer sun is playing out. The sun is the man, the moon is the woman. So she is like switching up, made you feel this way, so you feel like you gotta fight homeboy. Then behind closed doors, she switch up in another feeling because she just created a scenario that she just want to get dickmatized, and she just showing this dude that don't have no ideas of getting in a relationship. I got him in a relationship with me, so she got this whole little game going. So for the most part, you're left with all the bullshit. She still might be getting dicked down by homeboy, and you got to deal with homeboy and all his clique and stuff like that, and get your homeboys and stuff, and got to go through a day-to-day beef. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that when a person got the Cancer sun, Gemini moon. They got to be careful not to jump the gun too much. That could be a con. A lot of their issues come in their life based off intimidation or acting out an energy based off of Gemini was here one day of dislike. Tomorrow it's here of I'm on to something else of liking and disliking. Then the sun sign like, wait a minute, that don't mean everything I just caused got that same feeling that they're just gonna switch up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta act like that energy where the moon was at yesterday because it's a part of me, but inside of me, these are all different people of mine. Oh, I'm getting tricked out my own self streets and stuff like that. So sometimes they be having to really deal with themselves and cut off other people. Like I said, the Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon could be like Aquarius at that time. Cut a motherfucker off. But for the most part, so that could be an issue. Not knowing the reason to why you dislike certain things and not catching yourself before you act too much of that energy out and built too much problems that you got to deal with, and you ain't even in the same emotional space to have that full motivation for it. So a lot of times you have to play an energy you created that you ain't quite still in. That can become hard for a person mentally, having to act like they don't have a mental problem. And that's the life of a Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon. You might think they're the most intelligent in the world. Deep down, they the joker and the most cynical and the most dark in the world. And they still living to this day, trying to figure out how to pick a side. But they dealing with themselves. And that's any damn Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon. But damn, we 2 hours in. Whoa, shit, I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight, you know, the show. Yeah, now listen to the mind of that Aries Moon. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm taking care of God duties and responsibilities. Erector Swah, Hill, Hold That Yellow Hoop. Massasoit, Mama Natoik, woo, Makatawa, Makatawa River. Don't go no further than that. Masasaki. And make sure everybody in y'all creative bad.